Hey, what's up, guys? I am officially a free man. I am no longer a building owner in downtown York and loving it. My house is right there, and we're inside a 16-foot enclosed trailer. This is where my shop is. I'll spin you around in a minute, but if I point you in any direction from this camera angle, you'll get blinded just because of the screwy lighting in this confined space. Anyway, I got some Christmas boards. Three different color displays this time. With everything going on, I actually forgot about it. And Sergey brought it up. And I said, oh, yeah, let's do some whiteboards. And I've always wanted to do green boards. The reason that I've always wanted to do green boards is because for me, um, when the whiteboards came out, I was like, yeah, this is really awesome. And then trying to use them at night, it's like, man, you don't need a flashlight with these things because they're so bright. And with the red displays during the day, it's like when you're out in bright sunlight, you can barely see them. So I wanted something in between. And in other little projects of mine, I've had really good luck with green light, like green lasers and stuff like that. So I figured we would try green, and I have three of those boards, um, and they're only going to be available in the 5K SPS. So we'll take a look at those in a minute. Let me spin you around. Alrighty, you come in here. I got a little uh, light switch on there to keep from busting my head when I come in here. I put I've got a TV for a security system. Don't have it on the security system right now, but I figured, why not just get a little cheapy antenna and put it up here and have it battery powered. So now I can sit in here and watch Medicaid ads. And I might heat this with that little wood stove. I've got a lazy boy under that. That's not going to be in here too much longer. I have my pie safe in here to keep all my pies safe. And I've got her. She's been with me a really long time. I'm not sure if I ever introduced you guys, but her name is Karen, and she looks over my shoulder whenever I'm working. Now, all right, now I've got my benches in here. This one's for electrical stuff and packaging and whatever, and then the main workbench is over there. And so I didn't really change anything with the benches. I just moved them on in here. Toolbox and bins are over here, and as you can see, I'm already doing somebody's build over there. That'll actually be the second one I've done in here. To the boards, and just a little bit at the end of this. Some of you guys aren't going to be interested in it, but I'm going to get into what actually happened to Freebird after I talk about these boards. So that's why this video might seem longer than it should be. All right, we've got them all hooked up. We've got green, white, and red. For those of you like me who are color challenged. Now, I've got this overhead LED light on just to kind of give us an idea about what they would look like in the day. So we have our green compared to our white, compared to our red. Now, when I turn on the overhead light for this, it just kind of washes everything out. So I'd say we could still see the green even better than the white, and that's how it looks to me in reality. I'm gonna go turn off the overhead light. I got this big ass spider in here too. All right, so man, doesn't that look like Christmas? Okay, so you see how the white it just kind of, well, on the camera it looks washed out, but the red is fine. So the red is good at night, but the white is just really bright. And we can make out the zero a little bit better than the white. It looks to me, now I don't have the volume, I don't have the voltage all the way up at like 25 volts where these things would run at. And this white doesn't look quite as bright. Let me get one. Let me get my Superbird out. It's got a white display in it. This white is not looking as bright as the one on mine. And we can fiddle with our voltage a little bit. Yeah, that is making it brighter a little bit. So 23 volts. That's more in the range. Let me get my Superbird. I want to show you that thing too, by the way. I've finally gotten it just like I want it. All right, there is mine. And compared, it's got a white display. It looks a little bit different because it's behind a piece of plexiglass. But yeah, you're really not seeing how it actually looks. What's this light do? Because I can make out the zero here. It just seems really bright when it's pitch black outside and there's no other light around. I really do like the green. Now I say I have this one just like I wanted it. Now I want a green display on it. I guess that'll just have to wait because I've only got 3 of these greens, and I don't know what that guy's going to want as far as what color display, but it is going to be a 5K SPS, so I might only have 2 of those available. I'll have to just wait and see. Yeah, and 3 more of the white ones came in and 3 more of the red. Now we've got the overhead light on again. And you see how they look like they're pulsating? That's just a trick of the camera. It's not really doing that. But yes, I really like that green. I have to have it. Now, my Superbird, I put a flashlight on it. These are the Garbarial. I found this on eBay. They're like 18 bucks. Good deal for a flashlight for 18 bucks. I tell you, I've got a little offset mount on there, and all that's, it's got a flush offset mount. You can see where these 2 slots are filled in for the Picatinny rail. So that's how that works. And well, why not? Yeah, again, you can't really tell, but yeah, it's got several modes. But oh yeah, I have been using this, shooting it in my backyard a little bit. That's the shutoff, and man, I really like it. Now the other ones that I told you guys about, the silver ones, they're a little bit rougher, and I don't imagine they will be as smooth to turn. Well, they're not like this, but since the other one is anodized, and this is like, I'm not really sure what this is, if it's paint or anodized over sandblast, not really sure what it is. But yeah, with some good grease, some good moly grease, and you can get that slicker now shit, and you wouldn't have any problems with that pin going in and out. But yeah, it is. Ronald said that on his, anything over 1200 psi, was really hard. I think you might have a bent pin. And I haven't taken this over 1,000 psi, but you can feel when it engages. And then if you just ease down on it, once the magazine pressurizes, that pin will just move your valve open and closed with everything equalized just very easily. And to empty the magazine, you have to fire it, and that's like, one good shot gets most of the pressure out of there. But I love it because you can just turn that thing and you're ready to go. I've got a Velcro strap running up to this quick disconnect swivel on this particular buttstock. Um, yeah, and one of these dealies right here. I've got my cheap single point break in a half an hour harness right here. So yeah, you can tell that I haven't used it very much because that hadn't broken yet. And I really hope Ninja starts making these flex regulators again. I'll stay on them, guys. But yeah, that's really cool. They had some issues with them, and then they got a huge order for just standard valves in, standard regulators, and they kind of sidelined the flex regulators. It sounded indefinitely last time I talked to Ray. I need to bother him again and find out if there's any news on that. And just in case somebody asks, because they've asked in the past, why does yours only have two buttons on it? It's got two buttons in a hole. There's a tiny little hole right there, big enough to poke a needle in or one of those SD card removers. So the idea for this was when SPS first came out, and I had the idea, I'm always looking to get rid of stuff, simplify stuff if we don't need it. So with the SPS, I figured, well, you could just set your gun up and you wouldn't need to get to the pulse button unless you changed your barrel, your pressure, your valve, or something else on it. So you really wouldn't need to be pushing that button a lot. So I figured if I just drilled a small hole that I could reach it with a pin, needle, or something, that I could just go ahead and set it up and then leave it. In practice, for me, since my stuff, I might shoot it once, then completely change it, and shoot it one more time, put it in the closet for 3 years, take it out, completely change it. Doesn't really work for me. It might work for somebody else to just have that if they don't plan on changing it very much as far as your pressure and all that. So I just never got around to putting another button in it. And this one has the 8K board in it. So it goes 5,500, 6,000, 6,600, 7,000, 7,500, and 8,000. So a lot of you guys probably don't even know that I did get these to go all the way up to 8,000 rounds a minute. And the reason we backed off was you just had to drop your pressure, and either drop your pressure, lower your pulse, or a combination of both, because you build up pressure in here. My theory is that you could have two, maybe three BBs trying to get out of the barrel at the same time, and it pushes a lot harder down on the BBs trying to get up. And then you have the valve timing and all that stuff. So I got up to 8,000. I did not max it out, but I figured the most usable fire rate, maximum fire rate you could do was probably right around 5K. And really, to do anything above 5K, you got to get into like big battery packs and stuff like that. These 614-500 just don't really want to do it, but it doesn't really matter because you start trading velocity for just getting BBs out of the barrel beyond 5K. And these 14500s are fully capable of doing 5K. Sergey, I'm getting a great idea. We need to make tiny little Christmas circuit board ornaments. I think that would be the bee's knees. All right, now let's talk a little bit about Freebird. What happened to Freebird? Well, I'm not going to go into it extremely deep, and I hope I never have to. Uh, Basically, what happened is Rustlin dropped out of the project, and what that means for um, Freebird is that, I thought about it a lot for a long time, and a lot of you guys don't even know that's not even the first go at Freebird trying to get it off the ground. There have been at least two other serious goes at it that I couldn't even really talk about. I might get into some of that later on, I might not. But either way, they were all failures. So, um, you never fail until you actually quit, though. So, I haven't quit, so I haven't personally failed at it yet. And I figured the biggest thing, the biggest impediment on why it hasn't moved past the phase that it has gotten to, and we got closest with Separate Custom Rustling, is because uh, I was depending on someone else for a prototype. And not to say that people are incapable of doing that for me. It's just that in the past it's been, well, I don't have, you'll run into people who are really enthusiastic about it, and then they don't have the time to do it. And one case, it was right at the beginning of 4K, and by the time the guy had a prototype, some of the stuff had changed, which kind of made, his prototype somewhat obsolete in some respects. So I think that moving forward, the only way to do it is for me to actually develop the prototype. What that means is I'm going to have to learn some kind of CAD program. I'm looking at SolidWorks right now, and that way I can, design parts. And I know several of you guys have said, hey, if you need anything printed out, I'll be glad to help. Well, yeah, I'll take you guys up on that. We'll see how that works. If it doesn't work out, I'll get my own printer, start printing my own parts, and we'll go from there. But until then, until I get to that point. See, once I get to that point, I think the rest of it will be easy. I think that finding investors, advertising, I think that'll be a cakewalk. It's just getting to that point, because I've been standing on that ledge looking out. It's like right there. I mean, all of that other stuff is just right there. It's just getting over that hump. And I just don't really see it happening any other way than me actually, putting in the hours trying to figure just a stupid CAD program out and banging out some parts. And I think that'll help me moving forward in a lot of things, because I've got a few other ideas that I think are really cool. One of them's a very simple idea, and it's I think it would be a good moneymaker actually. But yeah, and then meeting new people, trying to build relationships only to get stabbed in the back. And I'm tired of that shit, to be quite honest with you. Um, but yeah, I mean, I'm always open to suggestions. I'm always looking for new opportunities. So keep them coming, guys. But until then, along the way, I'm going to continue to make videos, continue to build these blackbirds, and just do what I've been doing all these years. So yeah, don't forget about these new boards. These are the very first green displays ever, and probably only got two of them. So if you want me to do you a 5K build with one of these, go ahead and hit me up. I'll have my email address right at the tail end of this thing. And until then, later.